In this lecture, we will learn about MSC 430 X4XS architecture. The MSC 430 microcontroller is a 16-bit microcontroller. The architecture comes under RISC processor. That means reduced instruction set computer. That means which is having minimum number of instructions, and by reducing the minimum instruction size, where each instruction is performs single step of operation. Because of this, if you want to write the program size increases, where all the instructions takes equal amount of time. And coming to the another feature, it comes under Van-Neumann architecture, means that which is having a single memory. The single memory is used for data and program purpose. So here single set of buses can access the memory, and this processor takes the voltage between 1.8 volts to 3.6 volts. That means which is operates with a less amount of voltage. That's why it is called as low power operating processor, which is having three stages of pipelining. The three stages of pipelining are fetch, decode, execute. And it is having 16-bit ALU, means which can perform 8-bit operation or 16-bit operations, and which is having 16 number of registers, and in that the 4 are dedicated registers, 12 are the general purpose registers, and which is having all the memories, that is read-only memory, random access memory or information memory, some special purpose registers and peripheral registers. We are having for storing of data and address. These all memories are mapped into single memory. That is a special feature we are having in MSC 430. And here we are having two buses. The two buses are providing the interfacing of memory and processor. The buses are memory address bus, memory data bus. And this is the architecture of MSC 430 4XS. And now we can see in detail about each component. The first we can see the power supply. So here we have two terminals, one is a VCC and VSS. VCC for power supply, VSS for ground terminal. When we come into the power supply, the power supply range we are giving here is 1.8 volts to 3.6 volts. Here, if the microcontroller performs high complex functions, then it is operates, the power requirement is greater than 3.3 volts. If it does not have the flash memory, then it operates with a voltage less than 2.2 volts. That means the power requirement changes with respect to the frequency and with respect to the complexity of the function. And VS is the ground terminal. Any electrical, electronic, mechanical devices requires a ground terminal, that we know, right? Next we can see the CPU, that is central processing unit. We have central processing unit in a microcontroller, that is MSC 430, and it is a heart of the microcontroller or microprocessor. When we come into in detail about the CPU, the first is ALU, arithmetic and logical unit. The arithmetic logical unit performs addition, subtraction, comparison under arithmetic operations. Under logical operations, it performs logic and logic OR and XOR operation. So here the multiplication is not included in CPU. The multiplication is performed by the peripheral device, that is multiplier, that is present inside of the MSC 430 family microcontrollers, that is not a part of CPU. By performing of arithmetic and logical operations, here some of the flags are affected. The flags are overflow flag, zero flag, negative flag and carry flag. And coming to the registers, it is having 16 number of registers. The size of the registers is 16-bit. The first 4 registers, that is R0, R1, R2, R3 are dedicated for function. That means that is perform the specific functions. And coming to general purpose registers, from R4 to R15 we have 12 registers. The 12 registers for the general purpose operation, means which can store address and data according to the requirement of the microcontroller. When we come into the functions of R0, the R0 is dedicated for program counter. Program counter is calculates next instruction address. Here the program counter LSB bit is always 0. That means program counter is always specifies even address. That means the instruction should be stored in the even address only. If the length of the instruction is 1 byte, then we can allocate that even address only. If length of instruction is word, then we can allocate in even address only. So the program counter is always incremented by the 2. Why? Because which is always contains even address. And next we can come into the R1. R1 is represents the operation of stack pointer. The stack pointer is a 1 which points always top address of the stack. Stack we can use for storing of subroutine programs, or sometimes the special data we are storing for stack. So in MSP 430 we have RAM, random access memory, so that we can use as a stack here. So the stack pointer also, the LSB bit is always 0, that means which is always points even address. When we come into the R2, R2 is for status register. Status register is same as a flag register. So which is points the flag conditions of the arithmetic operations and logical operations that is performed by the microcontroller. So here we are using the few bits only. The 7 most significant bits are undefined here. That means for a future purpose the 7 bits are reserved. In future purpose, if you have any other features to the MSP 430 family, that 7 bits we can use here. Now we can see the flags, the carry flag. The carry flag is the extra bit that is generated during the arithmetic operation. If it is 1, that means the carry is occurred. If it is 0, means no carry is occurred. When we come to the 0 flag, if the result of the arithmetic operations or logical operations is a 0, then we can show that using the 0 flag. If it is 1, means result is 0. If it is 0, means the result is not 0. And coming to the next flag, that is a negative flag, means which is always points the sign of the number. That means sign representation, we can use this. If it is 1, means a negative. If it is 0, means a positive number. Next we can see global interrupt enable flag, that is SR3, that is status 4th bit. So it is enables the maskable interrupts. The maskable interrupts are enables disables by using this bit. If it is 1, that means the maskable interrupts are enabled. If it is 0, it is disables. Next we have a CPU of bit which is placed in SR4, that is the 5th bit of status register. By using this bit we can on the CPU, we can off the CPU. Whenever we are going to perform low power operating modes using MSP 430, there sometimes the CPU is not required for the operation, then we can keep CPU in idle position, that means in off position. At that time we can use this. If this bit is 1, means CPU is on. If this bit is 0, means CPU is off. Next we have oscillator off bit. So if it is 1, means oscillator is on. If it is 0, means oscillator is off. Sometimes we don't have a chance to use a master clock. That means the master clock is provided by oscillator. If that is not required, then we can go for off and on. And the next we are having system clock check bits. This is 2 bits, that is SR7 and SR6 bit. These bits we can use along with the oscillator of CPU off in power mode, right? In later concepts we can see power mode operations of MSP 430. And the next is overflow flag. The location of the overflow flag is SR8. If we are by performing of arithmetic operations, the allocated memory is not sufficient for the results, then it is called overflow is occurred. If it is 1, means overflow is occurred. If it is 0, means not overflow is occurred. And coming to the constant registers, R2 and R3 for the constant registers. Sometimes we can use the constant values repeatedly. So always we need to, if you want to try to give the constant values from the external side. It takes more time. That's why the repeated constant values we can store in the constant registers like this. So here the constant register R2 or 3 values means here we are providing these 7 different values. The 7 different values are represented by using of R2 register or R3 register. If it is 0 0, then R2 does not represent anything, R3 is become 0 0 like this. According to the table we can specify this. And coming to the clock system, we know the digital system is required the clock. Why? Because here inside of the components all are synchronous with respect to time. If you want to perform any operation, all the components should work according to the clock. That's why the clock is required. So we have two types of oscillators, that is RC oscillator, Colpitts oscillator, but we can prefer Hartley oscillator. We can prefer crystal oscillator. The crystal oscillator is the one which can provide stability and accuracy. For that reason, here we use crystal oscillator. The crystal oscillator having two inputs here, one input that is X in, other output is X out. With this we are giving the required external signal to the oscillator, and this oscillator provides three different types of clock, that is master clock, subsystem master clock, that is SM clock, auxiliary clock, that is A clock. The master clock is used for the purpose of CPU, which can provide highest frequency, that is the frequency in terms of megahertz. The subsystem master clock provides a clock for the peripheral devices only. So same as master clock, the subsystem master clock also provides a frequency in terms of megahertz. Auxiliary clock, the auxiliary clock is distributed the clock for the peripherals only. And next we can come to memory devices. So here we are having the flash memory and RAM. The flash comes under read-only memory. That means it allows one-time write operation and number of read operations. The write operation is done by the vendors, developers, designers. That means at the time of designing, the programmer can store the program into the flash memory. Once it placed into flash memory, the program cannot be modified by the user. Always we need to keep the code permanently, and that should not be modified by the user. That's why we can use the flash memory for the purpose of code. And coming to the RAM, that is read and write memory, random access memory, that allows number of read operation and number of write operation. So here we can use some conditional data input and the data is modified by the user. And here we can mention the flash memory is 2 KB, 1 KB, RAM is 128 bytes, right? That means we have a chance to use according to the type of version of the microcontroller, we can use one of the size of flash memory. Next we can see, and here Sigma Delta ADC. That means it is analog to digital converter. The analog to digital converter that converts analog information to digital information. Up to now, what are the microcontrollers we come across? That microcontrollers can take only digital information, but MSC 430-4X can take analog information as an input. For that, here that particular analog signal should convert into digital form. Why? Because the microcontroller and microprocessors understands only the digital information, so that whatever the analog information we are going to feed into the microcontroller, that should be converted into digital. For that we are using analog and digital converter. But here we are using only one technique, that is Sigma Delta technique, to convert analog information into digital information. Now the output size of the digital is 16 bit. Next we can see I/O ports. These I/O ports we are using to provide a communication between input output devices and CPU. So here we are having two ports. The port 1 is having 8 lines. The 8 lines are act as input and output, and port 2 is having two lines that are used for the purpose of input and output. These port P1 and port P2 we are using for interrupt capability, and that are providing the communication between the interfaces, that is JTAG interfaces and all. And next we can see the interfaces. So we have here the JTAG interface and SPI by wire interface and embedded emulation module. So by the embedded emulation module we can use to provide the direct interaction with the CPU while we are debugging the program. So while we are debugging the program, at that time using JTAG interface or SPI by wire interface, there is a chance of communicating with the CPU directly. For this purpose we are using these particular interfaces. And coming to the brownout protection. The brownout protection is the one which can protect the microcontroller whenever the power will drops than the dangerous level. When the requirement of the power is less than what we required exactly, that is 1.8 volts. If the voltage is reduced than 1.8 volts, the device is going for damage. To avoid this, we have the brownout protection. When it reaches the dangerous level, it will restore the processor. So here we are having reset and NMI pin. The reset is a low active pin. So by keeping 0, the processor is go for reset. That means if you want to use this microcontroller continuously, we need to keep reset value as a 1. Next we can see watchdog timer. The watchdog timer is the one which can provide the time period, at the same time it can monitor the time. That means after the time it gives the indication to the user in form of buzzer or the LED light. That means if you are allocate for some time for a particular function, suppose the particular function is not completed within allocation amount of time because of deadlock or because of software hang up, then the watchdog timer restart the function. Then coming to timers. So here we have timer A2, which is used to capture compare registers. The timer we are using for here counting purpose and providing a interval. So here we have a chance to count either upward direction, that from 0 to n stages, or downwards from n stage to 0 side. So which measures the time taken by the operation, and sometimes it provides the time period to complete the operation. And coming to the USI, that is Universal Serial Interfaces. So through this we have a chance to provide a serial communication between the MSC 430 and the external devices that are connected with the microcontroller. So here we can use serial peripheral interface that requires 4 wires and transmits the data simultaneously in both the direction, that is full duplex. I2C, that is serial communication for protocol. The data is transmitted bit by bit using a single wire, right? So like with using this, the microcontroller is access or communicate with external devices. So this is the information about MSC 430 4X architecture. If you like this video, please provide your like and share this video to your friends, and subscribe VSH channel and click bell icon. Thank you for watching this video.